Good morning, boys and girls. This is Miss Marche, and we're back again for another chapter in Julian's Glorious Summer. Today we're going to read chapter 3, My Father Talks to Heaven. I wonder what's that about. And I wonder what Julian means by saying that. As always, before we begin reading our story or our chapter, we always have to talk about vocabulary words. So let me introduce you to some new vocabulary words you'll find while I'm reading. Peaks. Peaks are tops of mountains. Furnace. A furnace is a heater. Steel. A strong piece of metal. Okay? So keep these vocabulary words in mind as I read. All right, here we go. My father talks to heaven. After Gloria left, I decided to actually do some work. So let's remember, Gloria left because she felt sorry for Julian in chapter 2. So let's keep in mind that as well as what we're going to learn next. I went upstairs to check on my rock collection. Before breakfast, I found out Huey had been stealing my sharp rocks and storing them under my mattress. I decided to see that they were in the right place, under Huey's mattress. They were, and their points were still as sharp as the peaks of the Rocky Mountains. I made my bed, then I made Huey's bed and fluffed up the pillows. If my mother thanked me for making Huey's bed, I would say, "Oh, I'm sure he'd do the same for me." I want to pause here, and I want to talk about what I'm noticing about Julian. Julian enjoys collecting rocks, so I jotted that down. I'm learning that Julian enjoys collecting rocks. Good to know, right? All right, let's keep reading. With the work done, I sat on the porch. I thought it was still a very good summer, even though it would be a much better summer if Gloria had just never gotten a bicycle. And I was glad that Gloria felt sorry for me. If I went over to her house, she would probably even stop riding her bicycle to play with me. If she wanted to learn to ride, I could always say I had a job to do at home and leave. I was glad I was smart and had gotten myself out of trouble with Gloria in a quick, simple way. I smiled and stretched my legs out and looked up through the leaves of the trees in the front yard. I was pretending I was a fish swimming in the sky when I heard my dad's truck turn into the driveway. I stood up and shook off my fish scales. Huey and Dad got out of the truck. "Hi, Julian," Huey said. He sounded very sweet, as if he was not the person who had moved my rock collection of sharp rocks from my shelf and put them under my mattress. But I knew he was. "Hi, Huey," I said. I gave him a fish-fanged smile. All right, let's pause here. And I jotted about something that I'm noticing about Julian, like this trait, based on how he's thinking. Do you guys have an idea of a trait based on how Julian's thinking? How many were thinking that Julian is a little selfish? Yeah, he's a little selfish, so I jotted that down. Julian is selfish for thinking only about himself because he made Gloria feel sorry for him. And now, if she brings up teaching him how to ride a bicycle, he could always make up a fib about having to do a job at home. So he's very selfish. He's only thinking about himself this whole entire time. He's not really considerate of his best friend's feeling as well. So I think Julian's selfish right now, based on how he's thinking. And he also thinks it'd be a much better summer if Gloria didn't get a bike, because that would be one less thing for him to think about or worry about. That's a little selfish to me, don't you think? Yeah, let's keep reading. "Hello, Julian," my dad said in a super friendly voice. Usually that voice means trouble. I checked my dad's eyes. Sure enough, Little red and blue flames were leaping in them like a furnace that would melt steel. But I stayed cool. "Hi, Dad," I said. Whatever he had that look in his eyes for, it couldn't be because of me. "Guess who we just met in the road, Julian?" Huey said. "Gloria! Does she ever have a great bicycle?" My life was getting worse all the time. Now Huey liked bicycles. "It's okay," I said, "if you like bicycles." "We saw it close up," my father said. "Very close." He gave me an extra big steel bending smile. Gloria waved to us. I thought her bike was going to fall over. And then I stopped the truck on the side of the road. It looked like Gloria was going to ride her bike straight in my window. But she didn't. "She didn't?" I repeated. "She didn't." But I thought to myself, Gloria must be in a mighty big hurry to tell something. And I was right. "You were right?" I repeated. I felt the way I feel during a horror movie, when I don't like how the story is going and I want to leave. Only this wasn't a movie. I couldn't leave. "And you know what Gloria told me?" my father said, spreading his hands wide in the air as he said her name. As if it was a pretty rug he was shaking over the whole sky. "What Gloria told you?" I said. "Yes, what Gloria told me," my father repeated. He threw his hands high in the air again and raised his eyes to the sky as if he wanted to make sure heaven was listening. "I don't know," I said. I tried to make my voice come out big, or at least normal size, but it came out very little. "Gloria told me," my father began. "She told me that it is a shame that I am making you work practically night and day, all summer long. She said that it is terrible that I am giving you so many jobs." Uh-oh. Seems like something is going on here. I want you to think for a minute, and I have a question for you. Dad spoke to Gloria, and she told him the fib Julian told her. But she doesn't know it's a fib. She thinks it's real. Do you think Julian will get in big trouble by his dad? Think about that. Do you think Julian will get in big trouble for telling a lie to Gloria about his dad giving him too much work when that is not true? I'm going to give you about a minute to think about that, because that's a good way to make predictions about what's going to happen next. Give you a minute. Alrighty, good job. So I'm thinking he may get in trouble, because if it's his dad, daddies usually don't play. They're very serious. But let's read to find out. "I'm giving you so many jobs that you won't even have time to learn to ride a bicycle." She said that she was very surprised. She said that she didn't think I was that kind of man. Uh-oh. "That kind of man?" I said. My words came out all white and thin, like a little skinny piece of spaghetti. "I am pretty sure," my father said, "that Gloria thinks I am a mean. He raised his eyes to heaven again, as if he was saying, "Now, Lord, don't just listen to that one. Mark it down." Wow. So Julian is in shock, right? I want you to think, how is Julian feeling now and why? How is he feeling now? I'll give you about 20 seconds to think about this. Alrighty. How many agree that Julian is feeling maybe worried or terrified? Yeah, let's jot that down. Julian is feeling a little worried, terrified because Dad found out what he told Gloria, and he knows his fib is not true. So maybe he might get in trouble. I also noticed some playful language. I'm gonna keep that open there. So that's how Julian's feeling. Let's look at his facial expression as his dad is talking. He looks worried. I noticed some playful language. My words came out all white and thin, like a little skinny piece of spaghetti. Can you imagine how he's saying those words? His voice is very soft, and you probably could hardly hear him, right? So the author here means that Julian's voice is very soft, and you could hardly hear him. Good. Let's keep reading. Oh, I was standing practically under my dad's chin. It seemed way too close, but still as far away as the moon. Now, since I don't remember saying anything to you about working all day and night, all summer long, I was very tempted to ask Gloria what she was talking about. But I didn't. I decided to ask you first, Julian. Suddenly, my dad bent his knees and slid down as fast as if he was sliding down on an invisible fire pole, until he was sitting on his heels and looking up into my face. Tell the truth. Sparks were shooting out of his eyes. So now I'm asking Julian, what was Gloria talking about? I was afraid I was going to swallow my string voice. I was afraid I'd never talk again. Just a minute, I said. I can explain. And I told my brain to come up with something fast. Uh-oh. Looks like Julian might tell another. Yes, another fib. Oh my goodness, he always gets away with it. Before we make our end of chapter, John, I want you to think about what the author meant by the following phrase. Sparks were shooting out of his eyes. Were sparks really shooting out of his eyes? No. But perhaps he looked very, very serious. So I'm going to jot that down. The author means that Julian's dad's eyes looked very serious. Good. So I made an end of chapter jot that really summarizes what happened in the end of the story, or throughout the entire story. Here it goes. In this chapter, Julian's dad meets Gloria on the road. And Dad sees Gloria riding her bicycle. Then Dad proceeds to tell Julian that Gloria told him it's a shame to have him working all summer, and it's terrible he has so many jobs. So Dad decides to ask Julian more information about what Gloria said, and he's looking for the truth. Dun dun dun. What do you predict will happen next? Keep it in your mind.